Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at XDC. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. So within the previous video, what we were talking about was the potential that this was 1, 2, looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and saying that we were going to get this fifth wave up into this area. Now we did come up into this zone and we have actually reached that target area already. Now the problem is the way we've done this is not very clear as a 5-wave structure. So this is making me think that potentially we could either be looking for a little bit more upside here, or alternatively this move is going to get a bit complicated here as a 4th wave of the blue degree here. So what we are looking for here effectively on this is that we're going to get another 4th and a 5th, but it's not clear whether this white 5th wave is completed yet. So I'm going to go over a couple of the ideas that I have here, and then we're going to go over the idea of this 4th wave actually looking to play out already. So what I'm looking for here is there is a couple of ways we can look at this. We could argue that we could be getting something like a diagonal here. Now within this lower time frame count here as well, we could argue that we have something like this as a diagonal, but the problem is this can also just be counted as a 5-wave move. So because of that fact, I'm just being mindful that we could actually see this just be a 3-wave move up here for wave 1. We look at this as a wave 2, and effectively what we'd then be looking for is a 3-wave move as a diagonal. Now the problem that we have is within this current structure here, this would not be great because of the fact that we do have what looks to be a triangle in this area. So because of that fact, this is making this really unlikely as it is. So what I'm just on the lookout for is I'm going to still keep a track of this. If we form something like a diagonal here for an A wave, we get a 3-wave down, and then we see a 5-wave move to the upside, something like this, then this would align with this idea. But breaking down past this area here of this 0535 would invalidate this. Now it is still possible, like I said, to see something like this play out. So I'm just going to be keeping an eye on this idea that we see 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, looking for this 5th wave effectively just to push back up into this area here of this 0705, effectively looking for that idea of pushing up one more time into this zone. Now the other way we could argue that this is taking place is if I overlay this again, we could argue that this 4th wave is still in play, or alternatively it could have completed into this point. So we're going to go over both of these ideas. So within this way of looking at that I have marked out here, what we could say is that this is A, B, C, and we're looking at this as ABC for this D wave. Now if this is the case, what we would be expecting here would be a rejection between this zone of this 6258 and this 6072. So we have already moved up into this golden pocket area. Now within this kind of a triangle, what we'd be saying is that this is a running triangle, and what we would then be looking for here is that we could just see 3 waves to the downside after this D wave completes, and then see an additional 5-wave structure to the upside. If however within this count we actually just either look to push directly to the upside, or we look to break down one more time, this can still work as a triangle. So I'm going to go over the idea that this triangle could already be done. Now the other way we could argue that this triangle is played out is that this could be A, B, C, D, and then we actually have an E wave triangle over here, in which case this could become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I wouldn't say that this would be our 5th wave completed if that's the case, but what we could actually see is something along these lines play out. Now this will only be valid for as long as we hold this 05638 region, and what we could see here is that this could actually be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now if this is just a simple impulse in this way and it doesn't have any extensions, then the next thing we would be expecting would be a 3-wave move back down towards this 05861 to this 05733. If we do just see a 3-wave move back down here, then potentially what we could see is something along these lines play out, where this actually becomes our 5th wave here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which would look to push us up into the 06758 to the 06635 as a possible target. Now if I overlay that idea again of that 5-wave move, we can see how that would bring us up here towards the 6595, and then if this extends higher, would be looking towards this higher range here of the 07005 as a possible zone that this could look to complete. But really when we start to get moves like this, we need to just be very careful, because until we actually take lows out, these moves can continue to extend. And currently the way I'm looking at this is that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it is possible that within here we could have something like this 1, 2, this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get another smaller retracement here, hold this 4th wave, and then look to push up directly, and then this move just starts to extend out and then potentially we can look for some of these higher targets directly. And then from there, what we'd be looking for is confirmation by a break of this previous fourth wave. Now, the key thing is here that we'd still be looking for this blue fourth wave. So if we want to argue, however, that this move has completed into this high here, what we could start to see is something along these lines. So this is also a potential option here. Now, this would align still with that same idea of the triangle. And we'd only really know by not following the triangle eventually. But officially, what we'd be looking for here is basically a three-wave move to the upside. Now, there would be the same idea here. What we'd be saying is that this is A, this is A, B, C, D, E as a triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looking to complete the C wave here in this target box that we typically look for, which would be the 6258, which would be the 786, and this 50% here of this 5945. Now, the fact that we've already come into this zone, we have already hit this 0.786. I'm just being mindful we could start to look to reject. We have actually had an interaction with this high here. It will be interesting to see how we react. If we actually see this develop as A, B, and C, what we'd then be looking for to the downside here would be a move down towards the 1-to-1. Now, if I just throw this onto these highs here, what we'd then be looking for is potential to see price come back down into this zone of this 05126. Now, if we do see something like that, then effectively that triangle idea could still be in play, where we see the C wave looking to play out here, where we come back down here one more time, and this triangle basically just shifts to the downside here. And what that would mean is that what we have is then that possibility that this is A, this is B, this is A, B, C for C. We'd still get a D and then an E, and then look to still push up at a later point. Now, the problem is if we start to get a bigger triangle in this way, it starts to become more likely that the blue fourth wave is already playing out from this point over here, which would mean that we'd have to adjust the count from lower down there, and then effectively what we'd be getting is a bigger triangle here in the fourth wave, in the big blue fourth wave that we've got here. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on it. Triangles are quite tricky because, you know, it's hard to say when they are over until we actually get that break to the upside or to the downside. So I'm going to be watching that area to see if we actually get that confirmation. Like I said, if we do look to break down here, we could be potentially looking for this idea of an ABC. If we do see a three-wave move down like this, what we then need to be on the lookout for is if we only see a three-wave move back to the upside here, this could align with the idea of this becoming a bigger structure, looking for this fourth wave of the higher degree, this blue fourth wave, which is going to look to bring us back down into this area here of this 05496 to this 04466 region. Now, it would be quite interesting to see a move back into this zone here if this is the previous fourth wave at this 4628. So we'll be watching out that level. But then as well, we do have these fib levels that we need to keep an eye on if we do see price come into these zones. Just because we've come down here already, I wouldn't say that this is big enough for the wave 4 yet. I would say that it needs to take a bit more time, because if we're looking at this as a 1 and a 2, this move down here took quite a long time period. So it would be more likely that we'd see something along these lines where we see another push to the downside here, and then potentially even see something like that where we look to come and slowly drag down into these lower levels. Coming back out here and looking at the higher time frame stuff, what we need to be careful of is the potential that this could be a WXY here for an A, this is a B, and then once we complete this corrective move, we can still see that potential for downside to come in a C wave. Now, the typical rejection area, we've actually moved into this 50% here, which would be this 6248 to this 11988. Now, we have come into this zone. If we do see another push up, I will be keeping an eye on this previous X wave level here at the 6900. This is quite a common thing for B waves to do, is actually have an interaction with your previous X wave. So if we do see something like that, potentially that could align with starting to see some kind of a reaction to the downside. Now, within this count, if we are looking for this, we'd be looking for a 5-wave down. Minimum we'd want to see is this 01598, and the 1-to-1 would be here at the 00669. So we need to be careful of that idea. Now, if we do see something like this, the 1-to-1 of this as an ABC is up here towards this 06897. So if we do see price move up in this way, effectively that would just be a 3-wave move, and we'd have to be careful of that idea of continuation to the downside afterwards. Now, within our bullish count, what we'd be then saying is that either we're looking for something like a diagonal here where this becomes 1, 2, and then we're looking for a wave 3. Now, the problem with this is that if we're looking for something like a diagonal here, we wouldn't want to cross this 1-to-1 level, because it becomes less likely that it's going to be a diagonal then, unless it's an expanding diagonal. So if we get this as 1, 2, A, B, C, something like this, we need to just be very careful here, because this could just be a bigger WX and a Y. It's not very common that we see expanding diagonals, but it is still possible. But we'd only get confirmation by this 4th wave actually holding above this wave 2 location. So we'll have to keep an eye on that if we do see price actually develop something like this. Now, what we were also talking about here is the potential. This is 1, 2, 1, 2, but we haven't moved up high enough to actually confirm that, which would be the 7461. If we start to see price moving above the 7641, we could potentially see this as a 1, 2, 1, 2 here. This becomes our 3rd wave. Then we'd be looking for a 4th and a 5th, and then another 4th and a 5th, looking to just continue to push to the upside with that idea, maintaining those previous 4th waves. So this is why this is important here. This could be a C wave, in which case we could then see price look to fall away, or alternatively, if we continue to hold those support zones, then effectively we could look at that idea of seeing that continuation to the upside in those impulsive structures. Having a look at the daily pivots here, what we can see is that price action is actually pushed to the upside here, and we've moved up away from these central pivot lines. We've interacted all the way up to this R2 line. Other targets to the upside for today is this 6170 and this 6275. If we do see price look to push up higher here, then potentially we can still see it move through these zones. We need to be aware of that, but we'll be watching these zones as possible rejection areas. If we do see price come back to the downside here, potentially we could find support at this 0600. We have this 05891, and then also potentially into this previous daily high here towards this 05817. If we start to lose these central lines here, we could then see price actually move to the downside, in which case our targets would be this 5613. We have this 5445, we have this 5338, and this 5159 as potential downside targets for today. Now let's go over and look at the weekly. We got new weekly pivot points printed here, and we did come back into these and touch on them just briefly with this move. Now, if we look to move to the upside this week, we do have potential targets here sitting at this 6653. We have this 7503 and this 8553 as potential upside targets for as long as we continue to hold these central lines, which are sitting between this 5710 and this 5561. If we are looking at this to trend, we want to see this starting to break back above these levels and finding support, and then seeing that continuation to the upside. If, however, we start to move to the downside here, then potentially we could look to actually test out this 0477 as our S1 line. We have lower lines here of this 3770 and this level here of this 2901. Now, we don't always have to reach these targets through the week, but they are potential pivot points within the market. Now, we do have monthly CPRs, but these are going to be refreshed as of tomorrow. We have actually met all of these targets. If we do come back down, though, potentially we could still look to find support here on this 5242 as a potential support zone, looking to retest that R3 line. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.